With big-name franchises like Battlefield making a mess of their beds in 2021 and 2022, what games are available to play that really get it right? Well, there are actually several single-player games shining brightly through the gaming world. Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, and Dying Light 2 are all fantastic examples of single-player experience, and with God of War 2 coming in November, we are spoiled for choice. But as someone who needs a good dose of demoralizing actual people on the other side of my screen, I want to focus on only the best multiplayer games currently offered. I ended up not being able to decide between two games, but since they actually belong to two different categories, I figured I would talk about both of them. But first, let me address some of the most popular games being played and why they were not chosen. Call of Duty Warzone. What started out as a seminal battle royale experience with great mechanics and an interesting economy ended up being a pay-to-win cheater-infested hellhole. Not to say it can't be fun to play, but as a free game, it just doesn't work. When you consider that they increased max health to increase the TTK just to release new guns that kill faster and effectively make their changes null, it gives you a sense of what it's like to play Warzone. The game is bloated to an extreme I've never seen before, which makes it virtually impossible to keep all 127 weapons balanced in any meaningful way, which leaves you with only a few actual options for loadouts if you want any success. If you don't want to use the 3 guns that happen to be meta at any given moment, or you don't want to buy the latest installment of the Call of Duty franchise in order to level up the meta weapons, you'll suffer from feeling like you've essentially brought a marshmallow shooter to a gunfight. Add to that Activision's irritating habit of making whatever gun that has a skin in the store slightly more overpowered than everything else to generate sales, and you've got a game that feels more like playing a marketing pitch than a fun battle royale. Speaking of marketing pitches, the next game I have to mention is Fortnite. Still a popular installment of the BR genre, you may have to admit, however begrudgingly, that Fortnite is here to stay. It has earned a spot in the Gaming Hall of Fame for its notably interesting build mechanics, but even more so for its adept merging of pop culture and third-person shooter gaming. A cap must be tipped to Fortnite for its ingenious way it has captured the attention of gamers everywhere by infusing an almost social media-like meme factory with an advanced skill gap and immense learning curve. The problem with Fortnite ends up being the exact thing that made it great. Many of us more adult gamers tend to be annoyed by the TikTok culture cringiness and shy away from the 12-year-old attracting emote-heavy build-focused chaos. I, for one, do not seek to build a fort around my opponents. I would rather prioritize strategic elements and tactical awareness that so many other games allow. Like I said before, I think Fortnite takes skill and probably even a good amount of IQ in order to succeed. It's the juvenility that drives us away. Some other games. PUBG is too old, Vanguard is too banal, Halo doesn't have enough content, BF 2042 is, well, barely a game at all. Alright, so those are some of my rejects. Now for the good stuff. When I think about a good gaming experience, I think of something that, number one, rewards my playtime. I want to be respected by the game. I want a skill gap that makes sense. Number two, it limits randomness. I don't want to be killed because of a gun bloom or because someone found dead silence or toxic gas bullets. Like, come on. Number three, I want the mechanics to make sense. I don't care about the quote casual audience. I want to be able to get really good at a game if I learn what I need to learn. I realize that a lot of people don't have the time to spend getting good at games, and they just want to be able to hop into a match and have some quick dopamine, but there are plenty of games that cater to that audience. But many of those people who complain when they are killed by someone much better than them and say it's not fair, celebrate when they do the same thing to players underneath their skill level. The bottom line is you can't feel good about succeeding in a casual game. The higher the skill gap, the greater the satisfaction of success. Number four, content that keeps me interested and gives me a reason to keep playing. So what games nail this criteria? Easy. Apex Legends and Valorant. Apex Legends has perfected the battle royale. You may have tried this game and given up because of the learning curve, or thought it looks too cartoonish and stuck to Warzone. But I tell you, my friend, spend the time on this game and it will reward you. The best things in life are hard fought and take time. This is no exception. But hey, if you are a casual gamer, as I mentioned earlier, do not play this game. You will fail and you will hate it. The reason for this is simple. This game makes sense. Most of the time, you will not be awarded a kill or a win unless you deserve it. You will not randomly succeed. You will succeed only when you have done the work and intentionally educated yourself. Unlike a game like Warzone, Apex rewards skill and time spent in-game. I love that. It has its faults for sure. Like in Warzone, we all wish aim assist was not as strong up close. It's rare to face cheaters, but when you do, they are flying, shooting homing bullets, and DDoSing the server. But when you consider other games in the BR genre, its issues pale noticeably. Apex Legends is one of the most detailed games I've ever played. I'm not talking about graphics, I mean things like the closing circle does more damage to you with every stage, instead of staying a static value. The legend abilities are interesting and provide versatility and engaging gameplay. I'm not even talking about each legend's detailed backstory and lore. Imagine Warzone devs attempting to balance 20 different character abilities. It's hurting my brain already. Apex has multiple maps on a rotating schedule to break up monotony. One of the 4 maps is always down for half a season for maintenance and for adding new features. Do you know what that's called? It's called caring. Yeah, I know, it's a crazy concept in today's world of money-grubbing laziness. The mechanics in Apex are some of the most well thought out as well. Every mechanic in this game encourages critical thinking and tactical awareness. You don't auto-regen health, you must heal. But you can't just heal. You have meds that heal your entire shield or flesh health, but they take more time than those heals that regen you 1 slot at a time. How long can you afford to be out of the fight? Do you have time to heal at all, or do you need to provide cover for your team? I don't want to make this an hour-long video, so I can't list all the mechanics and all the ways this game is detailed. Suffice it to say, when you play this game, you get the feeling that each and every mechanic was thought about with care and labored over with love, and that the devs thought about what kind of experience you, the end user, would enjoy the most. One thing I can't gloss over though is the rank system, something that games like Call of Duty have failed to implement time after time. A rank system is critical to the health of the player base. It gives those casual gamers something fun to play, but scratches that competitive itch that plagues most of us craving a hardcore experience. The key to the Apex rank system is that it doesn't change the game at all. It simply adds ranked points that you gain by succeeding at the game. And when you can no longer consistently gain RP, you can no longer progress, and where you are at that point is your rank. It does not arbitrarily assign you a rank based on some random criteria. Everyone starts at the same point. Where you end is all based on how much RP you can gain. It's as perfect a system as can be created. Again, this game isn't perfect, nor will any game ever be. It is, however, the best Battle Royale available by any objective standard. So we've discussed Battle Royale, but many of us either don't enjoy BR or like the variety of playing different kinds of games. I got you. Valorant is the best non-BR game that's available to play in 2022. While it is in concept just fantasy Counter-Strike, in practice, it combines the tried and true concept of 5-man economy-driven search and destroy with the addition of RPG-like character roles. Imagine Rainbow Six Siege, CSGO, and Overwatch had a baby. Valorant would be its cousin or something. Valorant is another one of those games that takes tons of hours to really get good at. Like in Apex Legends, if you start up this game expecting to have success right away, you will be sorely disappointed. I was never a fan of CSGO. I always appreciated the learning curve, but I could never get into it. With Valorant, I find it incredibly interesting. I'm not sure if it's the different abilities or the cosmetics. Maybe it's a combination of that plus a fantastically satisfying kill sound effect. This game draws you in with the promise of a fun time, but ultimately, it's the addicting feeling of just a little bit of success that keeps me coming back and trying to get a little better. Once you get a good multi-kill sequence, you are hooked. That feeling can carry you through multiple games of failure. This game is so satisfying that you don't need much to keep you interested, and by the time that initial feeling of novelty is worn off, your skill is just high enough to keep providing those feelings of satisfaction on a semi-consistent basis. Like Apex, Valorant's mechanics are solid and immovable. There is no wiggle room for the casual player to accidentally succeed, which is why playtime is so rewarded. The downside to this is that when you fail, it's on you. It's easy to become demoralized in a game where you have to do everything right in order to succeed. But it's that very concept that keeps you from being killed in unfair ways. An experience that is even more frustrating in my opinion than just not being any good. One of the things that Valorant does better than almost any other game is cosmetics. Like its predecessor CSGO, the skins for knives and guns are unmatched by any other game available. The creativity is mind-blowing and just downright fun to look at. It's never a bad thing when a game gets the art of good cosmetic so right. The only complaint I have about Valorant is that it takes a while to level up and obtain any additional characters. While it works to gatekeep you from playing ranked and getting truly eviscerated for a while, I don't think it's necessary and is obviously just an old-fashioned strategy to keep players playing for longer without creating any new content for them. It's a small detail in my mind, as I appreciate good mechanics over everything else, but it's still somewhat of a concern. So those are my top 2 games available in 2022, a 3-year-old BR and a CSGO continuation, but these are just my favorites. I have a specific set of criteria that I think makes games great. What are yours? What's your favorite game out right now? Let me know in the comments, join the Discord to be a part of our community, and I will see you later. Nice. Let's go, dude.